work to out of station for 4 days.
Haha, I knew that. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Now, would you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll move ahead and see what is class management. Okay, how to manage a class, which includes the sitting arrangement and looking whatever how you can make groups of students. So let's start. So class management means what? There should be two main factors. One is teacher, other is learner or a student, and then the environment. Then how many students you are having? What is the kind of the age group, or you can say the mental level of students. What is the environment? Because if there is a class of say 20 or 30 or 40 students, then they all are coming from different backgrounds, different uh, you can say the way of bringing them you know out. So a born brought up condition, their family background also makes a difference to make their physical and mental growth. So you have to, a teacher must be aware of what kind of their thought process is, what type of their background is, because if there is a very large difference between the two students, they may cause some problem or issues among the students. And also because student and teacher both make a class, so it also affects the environment of the class, teacher also. So students may there are some students who are very they are keen, they are having very interest in whatever is being uh, taught by the teacher. But there are some students who are like they are attending the class, they don't have a proper vision or interest. So, if they are not interested in the class or in the subject, which is, or a lecture which is given by a teacher in the class, so what they do, they are having, a fit body and physically and mentally they are fit. So they cause, creating problems to other students, or they may engage themselves in other activities which are not, you can say, as per the discipline of the class. So they may cause trouble, and if they are interested, so they are fully focused, fully attentive. So one essential thing is, introducing this type of problem. uh, it is like you have to the teacher should create an atmosphere of some kind of freedom with some limitation, the friendliness between the teacher and students and among the students also. And there is environment of you can say help, coordination and understanding. So their qualities in a class should emanate from the, it depends on the leadership of the teacher. So this develops social consciousness in students, not only in the class, but also when he moves out of the class, when he engages in some other social activities, or when he is in the family or she is in the family. So that social values or moral values, that reflect in their behavior. So that, and the awareness of their responsibility to the group in which they are in. So the students or participants of yoga may be grouped under following headings. So these are the four categories in which you can make the groups or different groups. First is beginner group, then experienced or advanced group, then if there are school children, and then there is a special attention group. So we'll see one by one. First is beginner group. So beginner group means what? So this group may, it includes the persons of all the ages, maybe males and females both, young and old, or maybe some, special individuals who are, making their first acquaintance, or you can say first introduction with the yoga. So they need, a general background of this yogic discipline, and the teacher should motivate, them to be in this field or be in this practice and continue with this yogic practice. And you, if you are giving them, a very uh, good introduction, or very, you can say, motivating uh, introduction of this practice, and then you start accordingly. So they, and you communicate the benefits of this practice, because we all know this yoga is for every individual, every human being, whatever age will be. From, you can say, the age of, a child who can understand the language, who can understand, or who can take care of himself or herself, like he or she can bathe, talk, and communicate whatever he or she wants. Till that, from that age till the age when the same uh, thing is applicable, means they, they are having their mind and body properly active, whatever there is in mind, it, it communicate, they can communicate with others, they can move their body somewhat, means mentally, if they are somewhat, uh, you can say, uh, good, or they can maintain a good understanding. So all those uh, age group are under this practitioner group. But if they are beginning they can begin at any age. There is no age limit bar. So that's what the teacher makes a rule. If there is a beginner student, whatever the age may be, so they have to give a proper introduction, so that they get motivated, they, develop interest in this practice. The second is experienced or advanced group. Now, this group may consist of persons who have, some experience with yoga. They may attended some small camps, or they know some of the yogic practices, and they follow those practices. They do those practices on regular basis, but they want to, know more, or practice in a systematic way. So they may come to your class and wish to, advance further to gain more varied and deeper experience. So their expectation, is to acquaint themselves with a greater number of yogic practices, and, higher practices, you can say. So accordingly, you have to teach them. You cannot start from the beginning, from the introduction, okay, because they all know what yoga is. So the teacher must know what the student wants, what they desire from a teacher, and then accordingly you have to make the class or group. And then school children. School children, this is again a select group, ranging from age of 6 years to 18 years, roughly. and commands largest percentage of the society, because largest percentage of society falls under this age group. So school children also need exposure to this field of yoga based on their immediate needs of uh, age, or their mental development, physical growth. So, because they do, some physical workout, there is a period of, some physical workout or practices. But yoga makes a difference not only in physical movement, but also mental growth. So that's why this yoga is, a part of now various schools education system, including school, colleges, various private institutes, and then officer, government sector, public sector, private sector, every sector, and also in societies where we live. So that's why it is growing day by day. The field is increasing day by day. Then the fourth category, special attention group. Now, some like maybe adult or children, so they may vary from their sex, males and females. But apart from that, there is certain group of people or person or maybe children, they are having some problem, some individual health problem, maybe physical, maybe some mental issues, any age group. It may be a kid or child or a teenager or a youth or elder person. So, and there may be, sometimes the people face some accidents or, some physical injury, you can say. So they also need some of the practices, not physical practices, but also some mental relief they want. So in such cases of problem of health, abnormality, or maybe handicap, so they all need, some yogic practices they want to practice. So all these individuals need, some special attention. You cannot keep them in a group of some other group, you can say, who are regular practitioners. So that's why, you have to make homogeneous group. Homogeneous means a group who the category of the students will be same. Heterogeneous means there may be a difference um, among the sex or age, but they are a normal human being. They don't need a special attention. So for some special attention, if they seek, if some particular person or group of person facing the same problem, then you have to make a homogeneous group in that case. Now, dealing with difficult students. Difficult means students means some students who are, not much, you can say, focused, or they may not have interest in that particular subject or topic. So there are some techniques, to deal with some inattentive or talkative or some notorious type of students. So the first one is this individual student who are disturbing the class may have their attention directed by, you can pause your instruction, like you are teaching a particular topic, then you are you are looking, some of the students are disturbing the class. Uh, to those students also who are interested in your lecture. So what you do, you just pause for some time during the instruction, you just pause. So, or you can say, you can glancing or you stare in the direction of a particular student. You can look at those or a particular student, or you can name them in the class, calling his or her name, and you may ask a question, make him or her to stand up, or you can say, if the disturbance is troubling, the rest of the class, then it should also be pointed out that they are preventing others who are paying attention and working well from hearing the instructions, but because of you, they are not able to concentrate. So alternatively, the class can be switched to another activity. So like that, you can deal with those kind of students. Second, it may, help to separate people who talk perpetually. But if these students continue to cause disturbance, after few warnings, you are given one warning, second warning, but they should be, not listening to you, then what is the step? So they you can just send them out of the class for short time first, like for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And it is important to bring the person back soon in the class, and to let him or her know that improved behavior is expected. All right, you should be, otherwise they may lose the complete interest in the class. So you don't, you have to like take this into your notice or into your mind, that you have to just make them, alert in the class, and don't disturb others to attend the class or to attend the lecture. So in addition, the teacher will have, more control if he or she avoid being too familiar with older students. So be friendly, but maintain your dignity and social distance, because you are a teacher, you are the leader of the class. So that you should always keep in your mind. And also never allow yourself to become antagonistic towards a student. Okay, you don't, you are not here to uh, say some words which are not uh, acceptable to a student. All right, and don't make the stage when the student argue with the teacher at a high note. So all these things you have to keep in your mind, because you have your own position, you are the leader. Uh, you have to maintain your dignity, your position, your status. So your effectiveness in helping him will depend upon how patient you are, your patience and your understanding. So this is a very important psychological part uh, of a student and teacher relationship. The second is seating arrangement. Now, this seating arrangement is also very important in case of yoga practices. So, the organization of the class may have any suitable form of sitting arrangement. Generally, we have in a line, the theory class or whatever classes you have attended so far, maybe in a line or row, you can say. But in case of practical class, mostly, this can be in a yogic, in the field of yoga. It may be a semicircle or small circle. Consider that each student needs about 40 square feet. Now, this is important, maybe asked in your question, in your examination, that how much space a student required in class of yoga. So it is 40 square feet. All right. And you have to arrange your room accordingly, depending upon how many students are there in your class. And it is preferable if the floor is covered with, a carpet. But if it is, there is no, if it is not possible, Then the floor should be clean, and each student should use his or his own mat. So they bring their own mat, or maybe institute provide them, their responsibilities to keep the class clean, the mat clean. In either case, it is desirable that the mat or carpet is covered by a clean sheet of cloth, all right, 6 feet by 3 feet. So this is the normal size of a mat or a cloth. Generally, it is said that on your rubber or plastic, not plastic, it's made of rubber only. That mat, you have to, it is good to um, have a cloth, a very thick cloth mat on the plastic mat. So this will be, make your holding, firm. Because on a plastic, your hands or your leg or toes may slip. So this is considered to be a good good practice, that on the mat you should have a clean sheet of clothes. So the seat of the teacher should be such that the teacher is visible to every student, and a student can see teacher, and teacher also can see student nicely. So if the group is large, all right, if the group is large, the platform is necessary for the teacher to be visible. Now, in a small group, what is the arrangement? The semicircle is more suitable, as it allows every student to see the teacher in a proper posture, and also teacher can see each and every student at his or her position at the center. So this is considered a good arrangement, but for a small group. Now, when platform is used, a revolving one is ideal, but depends, because generally there is a same level, because in a class there may be some stage or a platform, or maybe may not be there. So the hall or a room where the class is conducted should be well ventilated. This is one of the important criteria for the class. To arrange the class, it should be properly ventilated. It should be, well lit. The light should be there. Generally preferred, it is natural light. Or if it is not possible, then the electric light also works. So that not only in the class able to see the teacher, but teacher should have a clear view of the class. He or she can see each and individual student when he is teaching from the platform, and while moving about for teaching and answering the questions. So this is a good habit. Now the practice room or hall should be as quiet as possible and free from any disturbance. This is for any class. Any single class should be quiet. Means external disturbances should not be there. Maybe some vehicle sound or some other type of noises. It disturbs the environment, and the whatever teacher is saying, the student are not able to hear properly. So this breaks the concentration of the students. So it should be quiet and free from any other disturbances. Then instructions. See, learning of a particular practice depends upon precise instructions by the teacher. How the teacher is giving instructions, whether it is standing posture, simply a tadas. So how the teacher is, communicating, or we can say commanding the instructions to the students. Now, formal instructions are best suited during the initial stage of learning the practice, because you have to tell them theoretically and then practically, in that also step by step. All right, how to move your hands properly, how they'll go from the front or from the side, when they have to interlock, and when they have to stretch their both hands, if it is finger locked, or the hands or fingers are open, and how they stretch their body, because Tadasana is one of the, you can say it is the easiest asana, but it is having immense benefits if it is done properly, right? So that you have to deliver to the students properly. If they do properly, then they have the full benefit of doing that asana. So formal instructions are best during the initial stage of learning, and these instructions could be divided into those that are given verbally before the beginning of the practice, and those which accompany performances of this type of activity individually, or they are going by group, or those that are extended by the way of this information, and then corrections after the completion of the activity, because you have given the instructions not every time possible, or the students are following you properly and doing it correctly in front of first few rounds. Some students may take you know they need more practice as compared to other group. So initial instructions, prevent the student from adopting incorrect habits, which might have, to be unlearned later. So practical instructions guide the students for correct and efficient performance. The more clear your instructions are, the better practice, or better, you can say the instructions can be followed by students, and that results a good practice. Now there are following guidelines which can help the teacher to convey instructions clearly. What are those? So first, be sure that you have the attention of everyone in the class before any instructions are given. First, make everyone to be attentive, to listen to you, what you are going to, say. So when long explanation is needed, so it is best to have the class sit down, and if necessary, uh, the student should be not very far from the teacher, but with some good distance closer to the teacher. Now make your instructions brief, perfectly clear, and spoken slowly and distinctly. So this is also important, how teacher is delivering those instructions. So it should be brief, not very descriptive type of instructions, and it should be clear. Is it easily understand, the student can understand it properly, and then spoken slowly, not very fast, not very very slow, but uh, the flow is such that they can get what you are saying, word by word, sentence by sentence. Then the instruction should be given for only one thing at a time. You cannot merge two, three practices together and give theory part or instructions one by one by one. And then during the practice uh, time, you have to do first practice, then second practice, then third practice. Not like that. The single practice, single instruction for one practice, then demonstration, then make them follow what is being told by you. So that way you have to maintain it. So try to use, different words and expressions to catch the attention of the students. For example, if students do not understand the first time, there may be some words, or the sentence making is such they cannot get what you want to say. So use some different words, different, the meaning of some of the words. It's difficult for students to catch or to absorb. So this repeating of instructions will play a great role to make them understand. So, and the describe this technique or procedure of any activity before students are actually asked to practice. You have to teach them, right? You are a teacher, so you have to first describe the technique, how the procedure goes, one by step procedure, and then a nice demonstration by the teacher. And then you have to ask your students to, repeat this practice. Now, formation of the class, there are some figures. So how you can make the class depending upon number of students, the area you have, so that way. The first is a row. Row means teacher is in the front and horizontal row. And then the second one is teacher at the center and both the sides, the vertical rows to the teacher. This may be arrangement depending upon the situation. And then this is the half moon type structure when teacher is in the front and you are in a semicircle position. And then fourth one is like a rectangular type. Teacher is at one line and then student covers the three lines of a rectangle. Then this is like a circular one. So here the sum arc is covered by teacher and rest of the circumference covered by the students. And then if the number of students are more, so you can make this type of arrangement. The vertical rows facing, uh, you know, uh, two rows facing each other. So that way also you can make the arrangement. Then discussion. Now, a small question answer session is helpful at the end of the lesson, to evaluate the outcome and remove any difficulties on the part of the students. Now, it is always, helpful, useful for conducting this question answer discussion session. So you have to encourage students to ask questions, and and you have to motivate them, encourage them to have a group discussion, or you never discourage or ridicule any student's question. Um, and try to draw all the students into discussion rather than few, because few students are more active as compared to others. So you have to make the rest of the students active, just ask questions or make them involved in some of the discussion or interaction with the other students. So it is wise to limit the discussion to a few important points. It should not deviate, the main topic. And teacher is expected to know, more than the student on the points of discussion. And if the teacher is not prepared to answer any question or doesn't know at any point, so he should not be hesitate to say so, and should say that he will find out the answer and explain them at the next meeting or later. And remember that young children are not mature enough to participate in a group discussion. So a different approach is necessary in encouraging them to share their experience, not in a very much formal manner, but informal manner. they can share in a few lines what they know about that topic. It's not that they are speak and for few minutes, for 5 minutes or 3 minutes. They can share their views or whatever they know, their knowledge, in few lines also. But you have to encourage them and exercise some control over the time spent on question and discussion to important and relevant question. Okay, and do not sacrifice the valuable time on those points which are not important. Then extra class practice. Now once this practice is introduced, you have explained the techniques, what is the procedure, all is explained to the student. But it is desirable that they are encouraged to practice on their own at home or in your institute or class, but later. All right, not in that particular class, but if they are free in between, they can practice. Or at home, they can practice. Now, all kinds of motivation for the practice at home should be given, and they should be assured of all help for the correction, modification, improvement from the teacher when they meet next. Because in every class, first you have to repeat whatever you taught in the earlier classes, all right, and see what improvement a student is having, or there may be a need of any correction or modification or any improvement. So you have the teacher should tell them and make them correct. Now, next is the teaching aids in yoga and its importance. So, we'll do it tomorrow. I think it is a small topic. Let me cover it today itself. Everyone okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, here signal is very low, ma'am. So if it is possible, continue by tomorrow.
Okay, okay. Anyone, is it okay with all?
Yeah, no problem, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, they are very regular students, so I must listen if there is any problem at their end.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.